Thank you, Gary. So I actually have been working at Youth on Their Own for a little over 2 years, and I heard about you all before I even met Gary. So, here.
We're broadcasting it, and they got to be recorded.
We're recording, and we've got a Zoom call going for folks if they're not here. I know you all have done statement notes for us in the past, or notes of encouragement that we give to our youth. So thank you all for that. And thanks for having us back. So Youth on Their Own. We support youth experiencing homelessness in Pima County, all across the county. So like Gary mentioned, we are down here in Sahuarita. We're also all the way up in Marana, and Vale on the other side of Tucson, on the south side. So all over Pima County. All right, so when we talk about YOTO youth, the youth in our program, they are between 12 or 26 years old, with the average age being 18. So we do have a small contingent in our middle school group. Usually that includes youth that are the younger siblings of other youth that are in our program. Maybe our older siblings are kind of the caregiver in their families. And then we have, so our goal is for you to graduate high school, but they can continue on in our program post high school and still continue to get some services from us. So that's the alumni side of things. So you see there, the school program is about 84% of our population, and 16% is in that alumni side, where we talk to them about what they want to do post high school and help them apply for colleges or trade schools or jobs, and all the things they want to go into post high school. So that's where we do go all the way up to age 26 with that side of things. And we often get asked about homelessness. What does that look like for our youth? So it's not literal homelessness on the streets as much as you, I think a lot of people, when they hear the word homeless, that's what they imagine. But a lot of times it's, they're staying with someone, but it's not a long-term solution. So that's where the couch hopping term, couch surfing, they might stay with a friend for a couple weeks, and they say we have to go somewhere else after that. And they might be hopping around to different people and staying with different friends, or maybe extended family, things like that. And the most common reasons are also up there. So a lot of times there's conflict with parents, or perhaps their parents can't afford to pay for them, or their parents have their own illnesses that have led to them not being able to care for their children. So again, we have a large population, so we have a lot of different reasons for homelessness, and also a lot of different kinds of living situations. And these are just some of those, so that you can have an idea of what we're talking about. Oh, and then I forgot to go to the last little part. So 1 in 4 of our youth are actually pregnant, parenting, or caretaking. So that's not necessarily their own child, but a big number of them are. So it might be a younger sibling, it might be even an elderly grandparent who's not their guardian they're staying with, that says that you can stay here, but they need support too. And so that youth is actually playing a big part in the households where their grandma may be. And then also for our youth identify as LGBTQ+. So that could be one of the reasons why they have conflict with their parents. So just to kind of give you an idea of who are the youth that we serve.
So our most important mission is to support the high school graduation and continued success of our youth experiencing homelessness. So Youth on Their Own actually provides 3 things in which we help our youth. So the first one is financial stipend. So this stipend is meant to help them motivate into graduating from high school, not dropping out, in order to get a job or have some money. I remember when I was in the program. Yeah, I remember when I was in the program, the amount, like, from when I was in the program to now has doubled, which really makes like a huge impact for our youth. The other thing is all basic needs are for free, so students can go into what we call our mini mall, in our new building, and then we'll show pictures for sure. But free food, hygiene, all of these things that, normal parents or caretaker would give to their kids, so that they don't spend the money that they get from us, like the financial stipend, into these things. And then the third thing is guidance and support. So I think that is the most important. We have program coordinators or staff who are really like humongous help. They help our students apply for FAFSA, apply for food stamps, apply for access or healthcare, right? And so a lot of these students, they don't really know how to do those things. Even when I was in the program, I didn't know what FAFSA was. I pretty much thought that college was something that I had to pay out of pocket, and I did not do that. And so our program coordinator stepped in. You know, you have great grades, you have a good GPA, like we're gonna get you to college. They're the ones that helped me apply for all sorts of scholarships, FAFSA, and I did not have to pay anything out of pocket when I went to college. So, yeah, they are really amazing and they know a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, and then we know that our system is working because we have an 86% graduation rate, which is yeah, which is higher than, so we're very happy about that. And then just to share a little bit more of my story. So as I said, I was in youth on the road when I was 16 years old. I was in high school and I pretty much, my parents could not take care of me anymore. So I went to Tucson to live with one of my aunts. And she took care of me, but I also couch hopped throughout that time because obviously I'm not her child and it is difficult to live with somebody. So I kind of like went around like with different people from my church, lived with them for a little bit. You know, there were people who helped me a lot during high school. I was able to get shoes and school supplies and food and not feel ashamed about wanting to like eat at night and things like that. It really was like such a huge support for me to keep going. So I was the first one to graduate from high school in my family. Then I went on to become a YOTO ambassador. So I don't know if you might remember me from 4 or 5 years ago. I came and spoke about my story then. But I had just graduated from high school and I did. So yeah. And then as you see, there's a picture of me and one of my little brothers. So I caretake for him. And he was also in the Youth on the Road program. So yeah, that's us. And as of May of 2023, I graduated from the U of A, my bachelor's of faculty studies in human development. And then shortly after, I was recruited to work for Youth on Their Own. And I always knew I wanted to go back to Youth on Their Own because of the generous support of our community, people like you, of course, that have motivated me into wanting to give back to my community and to see our youth like get everything that I could get and even more. And that really is a goal here because all of our youth really do deserve to be motivated and to be supported. And it really makes such a big difference in my life and I know everybody else's. So thank you so much.
You know, I picked these pictures, but I really wanted to include that picture on the right because that's Rochelle with Ian Young, who founded YOTO. And that was at our ribbon cutting of our new property. But it was also Ian's 88th birthday. And so Ann Young was a counselor at high school when she founded YOTO in 1986. So that's how long it's been around. So why does our work matter? Obviously, as you just heard from Rochelle, it's important to the youth in our program, but it's also important to the community because we know that if young people don't graduate, ultimately it could lead to problems down the road. And the amount that it costs the city over a lifetime if they don't graduate high school. I can't say exactly where those numbers come from, but it is that's a calculated by the city themselves. And then also the unemployment rate is much higher amongst people that don't have a high school diploma. it's also really hard for homeless youth to graduate on their own without our support. So nationally, homeless youth, the graduation rate is 54%. Obviously, ours is much higher than that. And then we also know that they're more likely to experience homelessness as adults. And so we're trying to break that cycle so that they can get the support they need now, so that they don't become homeless later as well. And we also know education in the state of Arizona isn't the greatest. So our organization has really, I think, helped move the needle a little bit for this population in Tucson. Like I said, having been here since 1986, we know a lot of times we'll go out for different reasons in town, and we'll run into somebody that says, "Oh, I was in that program," or my cousin was, or everyone. It seems like to me, somebody who was impacted by YOTO over the years. So that's really cool to see too. So I mentioned our ribbon cutting. So we have moved, and Gary was able to come see our building last week. But we have a series of pictures here. So this the front of our youth center. So we have 54% more space than we had before. Previously had been in Alvernon in Midtown. We are just a little bit further west of where we have been, a little bit west and north of where we have been before. So we're on Country Club, just north of Grant. And we have two there as well. One is our youth center, and the other one is our administration. And it is much bigger, much brighter, much more welcoming. Our old space had been kind of we just figured it out over the years. It was never designed from the beginning. This property, we were very fortunate. We were selected by Angel Charity for Children to receive their large grant in 2022. So they funded $750,000 of this renovation, which we thought would cover the whole cost, but it was only about half of what we ended up needing. But we were able to design it from the very beginning. We included in that process so that we can have their feedback. And it really is really awesome space. So I'm just gonna go through a couple pictures here. So go through another photo of the front during the ribbon cutting. There's lots of great greenery and palm trees and stuff around. We have several murals in the building done by local muralist Jessica Gonzalez. You may have seen her art around Tucson. But we just wanted to include lots of bright colors and make it really fun for our youth. This is when you very first come in the building. We have these words all say welcome in the top languages that our youth speak. So if English is their first language, we want them to feel like this is for them and they are part of this. So that was why we did that there. And here's another picture of in our alumni center. We have a featured wall up on the side there that has different represented youth in our program that went on to do awesome things. So each item on that wall represents a different alum of the program. So they're able to kind of see that and see where they could maybe go someday and kind of be an inspiration for them. And actually right in the middle of these folks, Antonio in the middle is one of our alums who's actually currently on our board as well. So he is represented up on that wall as well. We have a really awesome courtyard space in the building. So we get to have a little bit of the outdoors and our youth spending out there. Again, so much different than our old building. We didn't have anything like that before. This is the front entrance of the building. We have a little corner over here for our youth that are parenting, so that when they come in and they have their kids with them, their kids can go read a book, take a book home with them, play with some toys. This is the main hall. This is where you come get food, school supplies, hygiene products, everything they need from us. This is where our program coordinators office. So they are the staff that work directly with youth. A lot of times they're out at schools, but this is, the space where they are. It's just right off the mini mall, so that if you need to, come in and get stuff, and they need to have a chat with their PC, they can do that right there as well. This is just one of the stock rooms, to show you all the food stuff. Back there, we have two really big stock rooms. It's a huge change for us, because we used to have a lot of off-site storage, and just, we were putting stuff wherever we could find space. And now it's very well organized and makes sense, and it's really easy for us to find it. So that's really awesome too.
So YOTO has some questions to me. So we are projecting that we will have about 1,600 to 1,700 youth this year. We serve 1,500 or 1,500 youth, 2023, 2024. We do have like a big, turn-in rate for academic stipends and, mini-meal needs. So because we have an online portal where students can actually, you know, request what they want, like food, hygiene products, all of those things, if they can't come into the mini mall. They can do that, and so all these like food bags or what they order online, can be taken to their school and then from there they take it home. So we have like a really big need on these things, so therefore we really need to increase our fundraising a lot to keep up with the pace, especially since we'd like to keep the academic stipend, to be even more in the future, because cost of living is obviously going up. And so our youth, from when I got the stipend to now, is a whole lot, and I know that it really makes like a much bigger difference in their lives.
So what can you do? Gary already did a little bit of this for us, but you can make a guess. So part of the reason we wanted to have those envelopes here for you is so that you can get the tax credit. So you can, the state of Arizona has several different tax credits, but the tax credit, we are eligible for one of those tax credits. And the amounts have changed. So for a long time, it had been 400 for an individual or 800 for a couple filing jointly. And in 2023, there was some legislation in the state that passed so that it's going to be variable every year now, based on inflation. So it is really random numbers, but it's 421, 841 for 2023, and you can still make the account for your Arizona 2023 taxes all the way up until you file. So that's an interesting thing that some folks aren't aware of that I just want to point out. And then you can already also make your 2024 qualifying donation and count it next year when you file. And that amount has gone up. So it'll be 470 or 938. You can also hold a donation drive. I know a lot of folks have been, you may have done that before and then might just not know about it, but where you collect things for our mini mall. So you go shop for us, give us some cereal or some pens and pencils and stuff for the mini mall. We have lots of different groups that do that for us throughout the year, which is very, very awesome for us. We love it when we see a truck pull up with just a whole bunch of stuff for the mini mall. But yeah, we give out about, last year, it was about $200,000 individual items distributed to the mini mall. There's a lot of stuff that we need. And you can also just advocate for us and tell people what anything you learned today and spread the word a little. It helps us for sure. Because we are a community, we are very fortunate to have the support of a lot of folks across Tucson and even down here in Green Valley. We've got our little groups that support us. We have a really awesome community at Clover Creek, and a Presbyterian church here in town as well. So we're really fortunate to have the support of the community. These are just more pictures of different folks. And here's some of our grads who are now along the program, who you know will go on to do awesome things. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yeah, we have some time for questions. Yeah.
Yeah, so what high school I graduated from? I graduated from Tucson High School in May of 2018.
Over there. Yeah. So, we should put that in the presentation. But so we work with the network of liaisons, what we call them. All of the schools that we work with, over 100 across the county, have what we call a liaison who is a staff member at that high school, who knows about our program and works directly with us. So counselor or social worker or somebody like that. Oh, yeah. So they're a volunteer for us, but a staff member at that. And so they a lot of times know a lot more than me, and they'll direct those youth. But also other youth tell each other. That's one of the biggest things I think. If there's someone in the program who knows that a friend is in a similar situation, they'll tell them, or even just people that have heard about us, and it's just word of mouth. A lot of the kids tell their friends, and tell each other about it. So.
You mentioned about the importance of the monthly segment. What requirements recipients have to?
So the requirements.
Does it vary the amount based on their age?
Yes. So he asked if the stipend, what are the requirements to receive that money? And does it vary? And yes, it didn't used to, but recently we changed that. So we do have a tiered level of need that we assess when we're doing the application to get youth enrolled in our program. So depending on their situation, they might be a little bit more stably housed than someone else. So that would affect which level they're in. And then also the requirements to receive the funds is based on attendance. So we know that going to school helps graduate. End of story. You need to be there to graduate and to stay on track. So it's based on attendance. So there's several different levels there as well, because it's based on the amount of days each month, and it is a monthly stipend and a monthly payment that they get. So at the first week of the month, we're asking about last month's attendance and getting that all figured out so that we can get them paid after that. Yeah.
Job training?
Doing job training.
Do you recommend?
Yeah. Okay. So we ourselves don't do a lot of job training. We, like I said, our alumni team does do, they connect you to what kinds of things, they're interested in. And we'll help them apply for jobs, find jobs. We share a lot of like job fairs and things like that. But yeah, a lot of what we do is the guidance and support piece that we do is also connecting our youth to other programs that they're eligible for and might be interested in, and just kind of knowing what's out there so that we can send them to other places, because we do our thing and other people do their thing, so we just connect them to that.
What about, is there additional funding for services for psychological, emotional health support?
So we do have a program for mental health appointments. So the provider that gives our employees our employee assistance program, it's called Jorgensen Brooks. We do have a free therapy for our youth if they'd like to do that. It isn't that popular, like we don't have a ton of youth that take us up on it, but it does exist and it's available. So.
You apply for grants with the White Elephant?
Yes, we do. We are, I think for like 20 years, we've gotten money from Country Fair White Elephant. So that's.
And for every dollar that is donated, how much goes to administration?
So our overhead is, we're at about 80-20 split. So 80% goes straight to program, and then 20% is for admin, fundraising, that type of thing. Any other questions? Okay. We are done. Thank you so much, and we'll still be around for the rest of the